Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Had the Unknown Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Was a Vampire that I posted on this channel and enjoy. And over on Anime King, I post a new episode of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's mother, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well guys. And also, stay in tune, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Had Multiple People Sealed Inside of Him. So yeah guys, stay in tune for that. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support guys. And also comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto faced off against Honda as he told Naruto that Naruto is something special, something he wants to see blossom in this world, because he wants to see Naruto's true power, as both of them attack each other. As Naruto had to summon Reiga, as he used Reiga to defend himself, Honda then threw a kunai as Naruto uses Amaterasu. But something then went off in a flash of white as Naruto fell to the ground in pain as his eyes were burning. As Honda then told him that was a special tool created back in the wartime, as it was mainly used for the Sharingan to affect them and destroy them. As Naruto was completely blind, he couldn't see anything. As Honda was about to attack Naruto from behind, as Shin then cried out Naruto's name, as Honda then stopped. And that was the only time Naruto needed as he swung around and fired Reiga, as Reiga pierced right through Honda and sent him flying as he hit into the wall. As Naruto walked over there, as Honda told him to not be afraid of the Red Dawn, because the White Knight will be here for you, as Honda then turned into mud and vanished. As Naruto cursed as he dropped to his knees, as his eyes were still in pain. We then had a time skip, as Sandia was telling the entire group about Koyoke and who she really was, as Naruto couldn't believe it. This was like the wave mission all over again. But Naruto wanted to save his friends and everyone. We then skipped to Sakura, who was just awakened. "Glad you're awake," said Tenten as she was beside her, as the both of them had some weird things strapped around him that prevent them from moving. As Neji was across from them in another cell, as he had 3 of those things on him. Seeing that, he broke out of the first one. As Tenten told Sakura that she was brought here along with her, and they don't know exactly where they are, as Sakura has been out for some time now. Meanwhile, Naruto along with the filming crew took the boat as they were going toward the snow. Shin has also stowed away on their vessel as she wanted to come with them. So in the end, they couldn't send her back because there was a storm on the way back to the demon country. So they made her come. They then arrived as Sandia went to get his armies, and they were going to create a distraction so Naruto and his group would go in. So Naruto and the group was in a cave, him, Shino, and Lee, as they were talking out the plan. As Naruto told them all to go to sleep because tomorrow, the real battle begins. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. We start this episode with Dodo, as he had a big smirk on his face, as he was looking at the containers in front of him with pure, unrefined chakra. "You certainly look like a man who is proud of himself," said a voice. As Dodo turned, "Well, a good amount of the credit goes towards you, Yomi," said Dodo. "I am pleased that my expertise were of service, Dodo-sama," the man said. Dodo's smirk widened as he turned back towards the container. Thinking back, he had been extremely lucky. He was planning on getting his niece later down the line. But he pushed forward and he got her in the chute within Demon Country. And it had been in the scouting of the land he come in contact with Yomi. Yomi had a great reputation in the underground of Demon Countries because of his strange and unparadox experiments that deal with chakra. Before meeting Yomi, the chakra that was gathered was drop by drop, but now only after a couple of months, Dodo have enough chakra to carry out his plan. Instead of decades, his goal will be reached in a matter of days, especially the new advanced chakra armor. As Dodo smiled again. About the matter of my payment, Yomi said, I trust that, but Dodo cut him off. It has already been sent to your account. After all, I am a man of my word, said Dodo. But I do wonder what you're planning to do with all the money I have paid you. I mean, right now you don't have enough money to buy a small army and take over Demon Country yourself. I assure you all of my funding will go towards my research, Yomi said. As you wish, said Dodo, as he just continued to examine all of the pure chakra. Sometime later, Naruto heard Shino, the version, going off. 20 minutes later, he heard Lee, the version. From the sound of things, Shino has set off a lot of explosive tags, while Lee had triggered an avalanche. As all of it was working, as Naruto reached the castle outer wall without being spotted. As he looked inside and saw the guards, they seemed unsure what to do or where to go. Some were running to other side as some of them just stood there wanting guidance, not knowing where to go or what to do. There was two places being attacked at the same time. Needless to say, Naruto didn't have any problem entering the castle. Okay, let's do this, said Naruto. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, as he created a large group of Shadow Clones. Okay guys, spread out and inform me as soon as you find out any clue about their whereabouts. The clones nodded as they then fanned out in all directions. Meanwhile, the real Naruto started his search, dispatching any guards that may found him on the way. By now Shino would have reunited with Lee, meaning that the both of them were probably taking on the Snow Ninjas. But Naruto knew that the Snow had some advanced technology, and while Lee and Shino were good, one weird contraption would mess everything up. So the faster he finds Sakura and the others, everything will be good. As Naruto ran through the halls, he sensed one of his clones dispel himself as Naruto got the memory. A grin appeared on Naruto's face as he learned of the dungeon location. As he made a right at the next turn, as he rushed towards his captured teammates, a pair of well-aimed shurikens took care of the guard, and a second later Naruto was descending towards the dungeon. Sakura, he called out. Neji, Tenten, he shouted. Naruto, said a voice. Naruto, is that you? Immediately, Naruto rushed towards the voice, knowing that it's Sakura. Sakura, are you guys alright? As he saw the two kunoichis sitting in the cell with a weird device strapped around them, and the both of them looked exhausted. You guys really come after us, said Tenten with a smile. What did you expect, said Naruto, as he break the lock and enter. What are those things, he said. There's some sort of chakra restriction. We can't mold chakra with these things on us, said Sakura. Naruto brought his hands up and placed it on what he believed to be the lock. Already he could feel a small electric current coming from the object. This might hurt, he said, as he gathered chakra to his palm and grabbed onto the bracelet and pulled it with great force. There was a small electric pulse, but nevertheless, it gave way and broke off. Better, he asked, as Sakura nodded, as he ripped it off of Tenten. Where's Neji? He asked. Tenten rubbed her arms as the bindings fell off her body. Behind you, she said. He was able to break free from the device, so they strapped a bunch more on him. He's been unconscious since then, she said. As Naruto turned as he saw Neji out cold, as he destroyed the lock and enter as he busted all of the restraints off Neji. But Neji did not wake up. Where's Lee and Shino? Sakura asked. As she and Tenten exit their cell as Naruto picked Neji up. They're outside keeping everyone busy, Naruto said, as he started to lead his team towards the elevator. As the machine started to go up, Naruto received the memory of one of his clones. Do you know where they're keeping Yuki? Tenten asked him at that moment. As a matter of fact, I just learned her location. He answered as the elevator reached its destination. As they came up, Naruto created a new Shadow Clone and gave him Neji's body to carry. My clone will lead you out while I go get her. Just wait with Shin there until we get back. What? Shin? Naruto, why would you bring the priestess here? Asked Sakura. You tried to get her to stay put, Naruto said as he ran off before Sakura could say anything else. Meanwhile, Shin was angry as she was forced to stay in here while everyone else was out there saving the others. Do you guys know how things are going on out there? She asked. The bug clone that Shino left behind and the shadow clone that Naruto left behind. It doesn't really work that way, said Naruto. I can receive some general commands, but not an actual amount about how the battle is going, said Shino. As Shin just groaned from where she was, seeing that she wanted to do something. That was the reason why she sneaked on the ship, but she couldn't do it if she was here. As Shino then jolted. What is it? Asked Naruto. I am being called. The battle might be tougher than we expected, he said. Then go, Naruto clone said in response. Are you sure? The bug clone asked. Yeah, go. I got this, he said. And with a nod, he burst into bugs and flew out the cave. The two of them were left in silence for a couple of minutes, until Shin walked up beside him as she then sat down. Everything is going to be fine, right? As the clone sighed as he sat down. Yeah, I'm sure everything's gonna work out fine, he said. I've seen both of their strengths first-handed. Well, the real Naruto has. And I know how strong they are, and those ninjas don't stand a chance. But what about you, said Shin. Is the real you going to be okay? Of course. Do you really have to ask, he said. As the both of them then went back in silence. Hey Shin, said the clone. Why did you sneak onto the ship? It's something that has been bugging Naruto all this time. Why would you put yourself in danger like this? It's because, as she then hesitated. Do you promise not to tell anyone, not even the real Naruto, she said. As the clone chuckled, sure, I'll take it to my grave. Which in my case will be when I get this spell. Deciding not to tell her that anything he knows, the real Naruto would know as well. Well, said Shin, I have a special power, you see. I can see the deaths, the outcome, that are going to happen to people. At any moment, I can see someone close to me die, and the vision always come true. It never fail. That's until I met you. Or should I say the real you, she said, looking the clone straight in his eyes. A couple months ago, I saw a vision of a blonde boy dying to protect me. And then I saw that same blonde boy as the bodyguard. That is why I act so angry towards him. After months of seeing him die in front of me, to see the real thing, it horrified me, and I lashed out at him because of that. I'm sorry about that. It was then the vision came through. A part of the movie set came down to kill me, and Naruto was about to jump in the way. But it's different this time. He caught it with some weird skeleton arm and stopped it. At first I was ecstatic. Naruto was alright and one of my visions has failed. But then, I had a new vision. Of Naruto dying? The clone asked. As Shin nodded. The thing about my vision is that it not only showed the death of the people around me, but they always die protecting me. But this new vision was not about me. Instead, he will die in a snowy field, protecting Koyoke. So when we found out that Yuki was actually Koyoke, and to hear that he was coming here, I realized that the vision is going in track. But that is when I realized I wasn't in the vision. It was just Naruto and Koyoke. So I thought that me being here next to him will somehow protect him from his fate. I just don't want him to die, she said, as tears came from her eyes. The Shadow Clone smiled as he placed his hand on her head. Don't worry, getting out of situations that were supposed to kill him is what Naruto does the best. He won't die no matter what, said the clone. Meanwhile, Shino panted as he jumped out of the range of the attack. So far, their plan was going well. Him and Lee was able to fight off the enemy. That changed when two new enemies arrived with more advanced armor. Jumping again, he saw several kunais appear where he were, as there were some blue marbles on them as they exploded into ice spikes. Are you going to keep running away from me? A pink-haired kunoichi asked with a smirk on her face. Behind his glasses, Shino's eyes narrowed. As he was facing off against this girl, her name was Fubuki, as she had put him completely in the defensive, sending attack after attack. He had to even call the bugs that he had left, guarding Shin. What? You're not a talker? Fubuki asks. Those two over there haven't shut up since they start fighting. As she looked over to the other end of the battlefield, Lee and his own opponent, Misery, haven't stopped talking since they started their battle. They were shouting at each other stuff like I'm going to win and I'm going to beat you. As the battle has been going on for some time now, but Shino knew that he has to wrap this up quickly because they're just drawing more attention. Meanwhile, Koyuki sat in her room. There was a lot of noise going on outside. As it suddenly went silent, as that made her really nervous. She then heard people shouting outside, "Hey, who goes there? Who are you? Stop him!" As a lot of people were shouting. "Yuki, if you're in there, move away from the door," said a voice. As Koyuki gasped as she recognized the voice. As an unconscious snow ninja was sent flying through the door. As she saw Naruto standing there at the entrance. "Naruto?" she said, unsure if it was really him she was seeing. "What's with that look? You're looking at me as if you've seen a ghost," he said. "Is it that hard to believe that I would cross an entire sea just to come and rescue you?" Koyuki stood up and walked towards him. "But why? Why? Why?" she asked. "I told you already," Naruto said. "You're my favorite actress in all the ninja nations. I wasn't going to let some crazy uncle take you hostage like that. No matter what happens, I will protect you with all I have," he said. As Koyuki instantly started to cry. Thank you," she said. "Let's go, Yuki." "Call me Koyuki," she said with a smile. "You got it," he said, as the two of them started to make their way out of the fortress. "I am hurt that you're leaving like this," Koyuki said, a voice. As Naruto had to jump away, as Dodo dropped from the ceiling as he tried to kick Naruto. As Naruto was holding on to Koyuki. "I take it, that's your uncle," said Naruto, as Koyuki nodded, as Naruto stepped in front of her. "Don't worry, Koyuki, he will never hurt you again," said Naruto, as he speak through hand sign. As Naruto slammed his hand on the ground, as 4 walls encased him inside. "Leaf shinobis are stronger than you remember," he said. "You're just a kid, creating these techniques. But it doesn't matter," said Dodo, as the walls start to crack, as Dodo destroyed all of the walls. But when he looked back up, he saw Naruto and a clone, as the both of them, Naruto, had a Rasengan in his hand, and the clone had fire all around his hand. "Hauyaku! Rasengan!" the both of them shouted. As they slammed their attack into Dodo, the explosion dispelled the shadow clone and sent the real Naruto flying back. Koyuki had to cover her face to protect herself from all the dust that was flying in every direction. "That's some impressive chakra you have there, young man," said Dodo from inside the smoke. As the dust settled, Koyuki was surprised to see Dodo completely unharmed from a direct hit from Naruto. The only thing the attack did was burn away his robe, as it showed the high-tech armor that he had underneath. "So those are the armors Sandae was talking about. Let's see if they live up to the hype," said Naruto. "Fire style, fireball jutsu," he said. As the flames hit Dodo, but he stood tall in the flames, as Koyuki stepped back in fear. It's a shame to waste that chakra. As he raised his arm and a device shot from it, as it grabbed Naruto before he could dodge it. Naruto looked down at the device, as this was the same thing he put on Sakura and the others. "To drain their chakra, but you will find out I am a far tougher prey to capture." As chakra started to leak from Naruto, as Koyuki saw Naruto's eyes flash orange for a second, as the machine exploded and fell to the ground. "My, so impressive. Tell me, young man, what's your name?" Dodo asks. "The name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I am the guy who's going to kick your ass," Naruto said. Both of them charged at each other ready to clash, but before they could clash in the center, Naruto was shot with things from all over the room. "No!" said Koyuki, as she watched all of the machines that had targeted Naruto return back to the walls. Immediately, Koyuki rushed over to him. "Naruto, Naruto, answer me," she said, as Naruto was out. "Naruto!" she cried out his name, but he was unresponsive. Meanwhile, with Shin and the clone, so after Iruka Sensei found out who was responsible, he tried to catch Naruto, but Naruto had already ran off. As Shin then chuckled after hearing the story that the clone just told her. "I cannot believe he used to do stuff like that," said Shin. As the clone chuckled. Yeah, he used to smile a lot more back in the day. But eventually, it caught up to him. The world. He saw how it really was. For a long time he was almost consumed by anger. But eventually, he regained some of his light. I wish I could have met him back then and be there for him. Maybe we would have get along better, said Shane. I doubt it. Naruto really rubbed people the wrong way back then, said the clone. Now, let me tell you what happened when Team 7 was given the task to find the Fire Daimyo's cat. But the clone just suddenly stopped talking, as his eyes looked winded. Naruto, as he struggled to talk. As Shin saw the look of pain in his face as he poofed away. Immediately after seeing that, her eyes went wide as she rushed towards the exit. As dread started to overtake her, as fear of her vision started to overtake her even more as she was running. Meanwhile, Koyoki was trying to look ahead as her uncle was there along with some snow ninjas, as they had put Naruto in that strange contraption after they had hit him with all that stuff. He passed out. As Dodo had told her that it was time for her to witness the greatest moment in Snow Country history. These chakra radiants are incredible, said Dodo. As I expected, with this Leaf Ninja chakra potency, the machine would be ready in a couple of hours. As Koyuki was struggling to try and break out of her restraint, but no matter what she did, they weren't budging. Ah, here we are, said Dodo, as Koyoki immediately recognized it as the old Rainbow Glazer altar. However, the place was now completely filled with machines. The site of my brother's greatest fault, and now my greatest masterpiece, said Dodo. What do you mean? Asked Koyoki. As he looked at Koyoki, he then gave one of his henchmen the signal to connect Naruto, the machine that Naruto was in, to the giant machine in the center. Do you remember that silly little dream that you had about spring here when you were younger? Nothing but a little dream that silly kid created. You were just a kid back then, but my stupid brother took it too far. After I took over, I realized that he had wasted all of the family's money as he was trying to build a machine that would bring spring to the country. What? But that's impossible. Well, apparently he found a way. Imagine my disappointment and my anger when I figured out what the device was really meant for. But I found out a way to change it into something. It was now my greatest masterpiece. All it needs now is a final key. As he then stepped forward, as Koyoki tried to step back, but he extended his arm and grabbed her. As he pulled the crystal from her neck. With this, no one will be able to stop me, Dodo said, as he quickly walked to the main altar in the middle of the structure. As she watched as he put in the crystal and turned it, as it started to light up and build up a lot of chakra. Thanks to this young ninja help, the machine will have enough chakra by the end of the day. But I think we can spare some of it now for a small demonstration, he said, as he pulled a card out of his armor and put it into the machine, as he connected it. Despite never being trained in ninja arts, Koyoki could feel the massive amount of chakra being forced down on their surroundings. What does it do? She asked. It will turn me into a god, he said, as a powerful blast shot out towards the distance. As Koyoki watched as the beam swallowed a mountain. Impossible, she whispered. This is my power, said Dodo. As where once stood a mountain, now showed nothing was there, as the blast completely wiped out the mountain like it wasn't even there. Once the machine finished extracting all this boy chakra, I will be able to go even to the sand village with this. None of the 5 great nations will be able to stop me. Koyoki then remembered something that Naruto gave her, as he gave her when they were running in the castle, as she reached down in her robe, as she wrapped her arms around it, as it was a kunai, as she slowly pulled it out. She then rushed forward, as Dodo wasn't expecting this, as she looked for an opening on his armor and thrust the kunai inside. Dodo let out an angry roar at her actions. You stupid child, he said, as he swatted her away. As he was about to remove the kunai when he noticed an exploded tag that Naruto wrapped around it, as it was ignited by the chakra flowing through the armor. What the? As a huge explosion went off. Luckily, that Koyoki was a distance away. She didn't get hurt. As a strong explosion threw Dodo back on the altar, severely damaging it. As Dodo quickly picked up himself, no, as he rushed to the machine, not even looking at Koyoki. This can't be. No, this can't end like this as the machine started to go unstable. This can't end, but he couldn't get to finish his sentence as the entire altar blew up. Meanwhile, with the other group, Lee met up with Tenten and Sakura. Along with their help, and Shino was there, all of them were able to take out the two, Snow Ninja, and the last one that they faced. His name was Nadari Raga. But he was a lot stronger than the others, but they were still able to take him down with their combined force and effort. After they defeat Raga, they saw the huge explosion off in the distance, as they quickly rushed over to there. Meanwhile, Naruto groaned as he regained consciousness, as he struggled to open his eyes, as he saw the blurry scene. Yuki, he said, as he then realized he was being carried by Yuki. I told you to call me Koyoki. As she was struggling to keep walking while pulling Naruto along. Planting his feet on the ground, Naruto took his weight off her. What happened, he asked, as he looked down to see 5 of the chakra draining device attached to him. Those things knock you out. My uncle then have you move to this machine and start to drain all your chakra. It was some sort of weapon, the things he could have done with it. But the kunai you gave me, remember? I used it and it exploded. The machine then became unstable and exploded as well. Thank you. I came here to save you, but the tables seem to have turned. As Koyoki smiled, Naruto said a voice. Looking ahead, Naruto could see Shin running towards him. Shin, what are you doing here? You were supposed to stay in the cave, he said, as he then got the memory from the clone. It was somehow delayed, seeing that he was passed out, as he was remembering everything now. As Shin was huffing, your clone suddenly disappeared. I got worried, she said, as she catch her breath. I was worried. As she then looked at Naruto, I was worried about Yuki. Yeah, about Yuki, she said, as she was blushing a bit. As Koyoki chuckled. My, what happened while I was caught, she said. Don't you start that. But Naruto was cut off. As Naruto pushed both girls out of the way, as he jumped to the side, as a black dragon fly past them with great force and power. As Naruto saw a very injured, but an extremely furious Dodo coming towards them. As his chakra armor was still smoking. You, a lifetime of work, destroyed by an idiotic girl, Dodo shouted. Naruto grit his teeth. Even if Dodo was wounded, he could still perform ninjutsu. And that put them at a huge disadvantage, especially with these, Naruto said as he looked down to see the chakra restraining devices. You girls run, Naruto said, without taking his eyes off Dodo. You guys keep running until you find Shino and the others. As Naruto knew the only thing he could do at this point was buy them time to get them out safely. But Shin said, remember, said Naruto cutting her off, that you promised to obey my instructions. Now go, he said. As Naruto rushed forward, with the restraints on his body, he found it difficult to run. Nevertheless, he pulled out kunais and shuriken and threw them at Dodo. Dodo simply brought his arm up and blocked all of them. I should have killed you right there on the spot, he said, as he then released 2 black dragons from his arms as they rushed towards Naruto. As the dragon crashed down into the ground, as Naruto was now airborne as he took out 2 shurikens as he threw the both of them. Dodo quickly brought his arm up as he blocked both of them with his armor. But Naruto pulled on a string as one of them was tied to a string, as it then spun back around and curved as it sliced Dodo near to his eye. Damn it! You little bastard! Dodo cried out as blood was now gushing from his face, as he quickly released 2 other black dragons towards Naruto. As Naruto looked up at the 2 dragons who were coming down at him, in his weakened state he could not dodge these attacks. As Naruto readied himself to try and endure the attack, but he then felt 2 arms engulf him. As he looked back to see Shin and Koyoki. We can't leave you. You can't die, said Shin. As Koyoki just gave him a strong look as tears escaped her eyes. As Naruto grit his teeth as he started to force and called his chakra as the dragons were coming down on him and the girls. "Come on, stupid fox, if you're still in there, I need your help," as both dragons opened their mouth. "Fox, answer me," Naruto screamed, as all the devices on Naruto turned red as they exploded and fell off. "It's about damn time, kid," said Kurama, as Naruto removed Shin and Koyuki grip on him and jumped up, as chakra exploded from its body, destroying the two dragons. As he was in that same state he fought Sasuke in, but he then returned back to normal as he landed on the ground. "Impossible! You shouldn't have been able to got free. How did you do that?" "It's nice to know that nothing ever changed around here. You still managed to get yourself in death situations," Kurama said. "You know, I'm actually glad to hear you again. But we will have to catch up later. I'm in the middle of something right now." "You two should take a few steps back," he said. "Now, it's time for round 3, Naruto said as he pumped chakra to his eyes, as Isara Sharingan was awakened again. As Dodo quickly sent a snow dragon towards him, as Naruto vanished with incredible speed, as Dodo brought up his arm, as he was surprised to see Naruto duck under his arm and smash his fist right into the chakra armor, as Dodo felt the great force as he was pushed back. As Naruto quickly went through hand sign, "Fire style, fireball jutsu," he said as he blasted Dodo with a massive fireball that pushed Dodo back, as he got burns over his body that was not protected by the armor. "Damn you," said Dodo, as he exploded with chakra as he created 10 black dragons and aimed them all at Naruto. "Die," he said as he lowered his hand, as all of them came down. "Naruto," Shin cried out as they smashed down, creating dust and debris all over. As Shin and Koyuki's eyes went wide. But they then heard a voice. "I told you, I won't die," he said, as they saw Naruto covered in a giant humanoid creature. It had on a fox mask on his face and 2 swords in his hand. As Naruto swung one of the blades, as the force of the blade released a wave of pulsating chakra that sent Dodo flying as he crashed into a huge ice brigade. As Dodo got back to his feet, "Amaterasu," Naruto said, as Dodo was engulfed in black flames. "It's over. Your armor will not protect you from those flames," Naruto said. "Damn you," said Dodo, as Dodo tried to fire off another dragon, but suddenly, from the cracks in his armor, some weird purple snakes slide out. A look of shock appeared on Dodo's face. "These are... wait, Yumi's," he said, as the snakes launched at his throat. A massive dark chakra exploded around him, sending shockwaves everywhere. As Naruto's eyes went wide as he saw about 15 of those giant black dragons, but they were much larger this time, as Naruto looked up at all of them. But guys, in the end of this episode right here, if you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications they posted. And remember to stay in tune for What If Naruto Had Multiple People sealed inside of him. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every episode. But for now, I'm out guys. Peace.